Good morning, everybody. It is August 23rd, Tuesday, August 23rd, 11 a.m. This is another episode of Meet the Experts, our live streaming podcast where we feature small business owners and experts in their field for a short 20-minute or so conversation to get to know a little bit more about them, let them tell their story, and tell everyone what they do. And then we give our guests the episode. So if you want to be a future guest on Meet the Experts, I will be back at the end of the episode to tell you how that is possible. So today, our guest is Stacy Savage with Zero Waste Strategies. Hoping I got that right. And we're going to bring her up in just a second here. I'm really excited about her guest through getting to know her a little bit. She has a history in radio, so I think this is going to be a great interview and a good fit for us getting to chat a little bit. So I hope you'll enjoy. And without further ado, hey, Stacy, how are you? Oh, Stacy, hit your mute button. There we go.
Hey, Jay. Sorry.
There you go. Perfect. No problem. The fun of live streaming. It's all good. Now you sound great.
Good.
All right. So I know when I started Meet the Experts, we were doing it kind of as Meet the Local Experts. And we did a lot around Greensboro and our area. And we still do interview a lot of Greensboro businesses. But recently we've kind of branched out. So I know you're in the Austin, Texas area, right?
Right. Yes.
All right. So how long have you been in business there in Austin?
We are coming up on 10 years in January.
That's awesome. That's exciting. We just had ours in May. We passed 10 years in May, and it was really, really cool. So congratulations on that.
No easy feat, but we're doing it.
There it is. You're doing well. So I know you're going to talk a lot about what Zero Waste Strategies does, and we're kind of going to dive into that quite a bit. But for now, just it seems like an interesting career, even just from the title, because I was like fascinated. Like, that sounds cool. So how did you get into this whole industry?
Well, Jay, I tell you, I'm a lifelong Texan, and I grew up on the Gulf Coast border with Louisiana. So you're talking to a bona fide Cajun. And, that's where the oil and gas mecca of the country is. My parents worked for large oil and gas refineries for a collective 75 years. My aunts, uncles, and cousins still work at those same refineries. So rotten egg smells and brown hazy skies were a common occurrence for us, and we didn't know any different, didn't know any better. And so whenever I moved to the Dallas area to go to school, very different, obviously. And then after school, I moved to Austin, and Austin is just a flourishing, bustling city that is a very progressive community that values the conservation of its natural spaces. And it really spoke to me in a way because I had never really seen that before. And so I found nonprofit work, and I did door-to-door work for an environmental campaign for 9 years. And we helped pass key pieces of legislation at the statewide level for electronics recycling. So the 2007 computer take-back law that we passed with Dell, and then the 2011 TV take-back law that we passed with companies like Thompson and Panasonic. And so that requires businesses that originally manufactured the equipment to take it back, recycle it responsibly, and for free for Texas consumers. There are laws like this all over the country. And then, worked on some local legislation for recycling here in the local Austin area at the municipal government ordinances. And that affects business recycling, business composting for food waste, and even curbside composting for residential single family homes. So we've had a lot of big victories, but I realized in that nonprofit work, I couldn't necessarily go anywhere higher in my organization. The executive director has been there for 25 years and she ain't going anywhere. Our organization is her little baby, right? And so I feel like I did the most good. And I started looking outwardly to other opportunities, organizing opportunities. And I ran a couple of political campaigns for, candidate races and such. And it was just so partisan and vitriolic for me that I couldn't, my heart really lied with the environmental push, because knowing how I grew up, where I grew up, and that people were still suffering from asthma and rare cancers in their families. And, there's a lot of tie-in with these large industrial facilities that can affect the frontline communities, the fence line communities, if you will, that are typically, poor and of color. And so there's a whole justice issue around that as well, that really speaks to me on a daily basis. And so building out my business in my previous career, doing that nonprofit work, there was a lot of viewing the issue from the outside, pointing, shaming, and blaming. And when I started my business as a consultant, that means I could get inside and I could start forming and shaping and informing decision making from the inside to help rather than harm from the outside. And so it was something that called to me, where I can sit down, because these are people that run these companies. They're people too. And we have to remember that. So we find the common ground, we find the humanity in the, the organization, and we really target that, and we start to change hearts and minds around these green operations and initiatives that a lot of times people just don't give a second thought about. So it's really something that we can work together from the inside with the institutional leadership to help them promote it and make it a front burner issue, a burning issue for their employees, their shareholders, their investors, and really help get return on investment, because reducing waste is the fastest, cheapest way to get to any operational efficiency. And that's what we really target.
That is fantastic what you just said there. And at the bottom, I have the ticker, and it goes in reverse as I do this. And if you got a chance, take a look at that. And if you want to learn more, there's some information down there. But you said a bunch in there. And one of the things I wanted to point out is, I think I told you, I visited Austin at the end of last year twice, November and then back in December. And the first time I went, my wife came with me, and we walked up Congress to the State House, and that place is massive and beautiful, and the lawn is just, it's just a sprawling, nice, really nice building right in the center of downtown Austin, which we loved. We loved walking around Austin. It was just so many cool places to see. So I wanted to just throw that in there. So if anybody watching ever wants to go to Austin, it's definitely worth a visit. But you talked about
just in North Carolina.
That's right. You were saying that. That's hysterical.
My team was just in the Charlotte area. So yeah, like we said, we were two ships passing in the night.
I love it. So when you came to North Carolina, that's actually a perfect lead into my next question. You were working with a client, and you don't have to say who, but what types of clients do you typically work with?
Well, we work with mid to large businesses and local government agencies, institutions, nonprofits. So if you think about retail, restaurant and food permitted businesses, facilities maintenance folks, people who are maybe sustainability engineers, but they don't quite have a handle on the zero waste aspect of the driving the waste reduction. Maybe they know a lot about water conservation, energy conservation, retrofits, but they just they're not specifically trained in waste reduction. We can help them as well. There's if your business creates waste, we can help you. I know we like to niche down, but honestly, there is a general program for every business. And then there's a deep dive, because every industry is different. Every business's waste stream is different. And they have to either follow local city ordinances or state provisions, state ordinances or laws that require certain handling of certain materials, especially your hazardous waste. And, glass is sometimes just not even recycled at all. So it's different all across the board, but there are some basic foundational protocols that we put in place for every business. And then we do the deep dive for industry specific, waste that they may be generating on site, and making sure that it's compliant with all local and state laws.
All I could think about when you were saying that was the little tagline that we came up with of like, we're gonna make talking trash fun, and
Right.
and I love that. It spoke through you when you were saying
That's why they call me the Texas trash talker, Jay.
I love it.
I talk trash all day, every day.
All day, every day. It's great. So, all right. Obviously you love it. Obviously you have a passion for this, right? So, but there's got to be something. What is your favorite part of what you do?
The favorite part is changing people's perspective around what trash is. Why is it considered trash in people's minds? Yes, they want to get whatever is in their hands out of their hands as soon as possible in the most convenient way as possible. So they dump it, right? But if they understood, and this is where we connect the dots for them, if they understand the true environmental and economical impacts around mishandling materials, they would have a very, very different perspective around the materials that they are discarding on a daily, weekly basis. So if we can help them understand that cardboard, flattened cardboard is extremely lucrative on the commodities market. If we can help them understand that rigid plastics can be reduced and recycled into other products. This is about creating jobs, creating local material markets as well, keeping those materials in the local area so that we can do the remanufacturing and refabrication, put people to work, and keep those materials out of landfill. This means that we can lessen what's going to landfills. We can keep those landfills open and less junkified, if you will, and really put those materials back into the system. We call it a closed loop circular economy for a reason, because right now we're doing a linear economy. Unfortunately, it's very destructive, very polluting. It's extract raw materials, transport it, refine it, make it into a product, put it on the store shelves. We purchase it as consumers, and then 6 months later, it's broken and it's dumped. That's linear. We take the two ends of that linear economy and we connect them into a circular economy. And that allows more job creation. It allows us to stabilize the tax base in the local area, a more diverse job pool. And these are green jobs with dignity. They are well paying, and they are, they come with strong benefits as well.
All right. So you blew my mind. You said that there is a lot of money in flattened cardboard. With the amount of Amazon deliveries that come to my house, my garage is full of cardboard, and I spend all of my time once a week, not all of my time, once a week, I spend a lot of time flattening out the cardboard to put it in my recycling bin. Is there a better, and this question wasn't even planned, but is there something else I can do with that cardboard that I flatten than putting it in my recycling bin?
Well, let's remember the 3 R's. There's that inverted triangle, the hierarchy of how we deal with materials. It used to be reduce, reuse, recycle, right? Recycle is always the bottom rung because there's so many R's up top that we can use upstream. So first of all, reusing those boxes or donating them on your local Buy Nothing page or Facebook page or whatever, so that other people can use them for maybe their moving projects, or being able to use them at maybe a local school needs them. So there's always that reuse portion before you flatten them, before they go in the recycle bin. So what I was referring to regarding monetarily was for large businesses that can bale the flattened cardboard on site. They have a baler there. They can wrap the wires around it, or the machine does this, that wraps the wires and puts it into a nice, 1-ton bale. You collect enough of those, your hauler comes and picks them up, brings them to their recycling facility, and you get a return because you have an agreement with the recycler, the processor. of those materials, so that you get a percentage of what they sell it for on the market. So not necessarily for the average Joe, at the house, but these are large quantities that I'm talking about. So they can
Awesome.
absolutely, help offset any new programs such as recycling or even food waste composting that they start to implement. If it may be a new cost up front, but think about what we can reduce and what we can sell commodity wise onto the market to pull in some more revenue to cover the costs of those new programs.
It's amazing. That really is. It's fascinating, and things you just typically don't think about until we learn from you. So that's great. I hope that helps a lot of people listening. So, all right, is it just you, or do you have others on your team?
Well, it's me and my husband.
Okay.
And we do the flyouts. I usually do the training for our 6-week online training course. So we do that. But when we're flown out to a specific site, we'll land on the ground together and we'll go into the office and we'll start doing our assessment. So yeah, he's with me when we do those flyouts, but he also deals with IT issues, customer service. So we handle different aspects of the business, but we are two peas in a pod. He is my VP and my VIP.
I love that. I love that.
But
That's awesome.
when we have larger projects, we subcontract. These are people that we've already vetted that are elders in the zero waste and circular economy space. These are people that help set the global standards of what zero waste even is. These are the people that help set the definitions and the business standards. So we know that the people that we're subcontracting and bringing in on larger corporate contracts, we know that they have been leaders in this industry for decades. And we trust their innovations. We trust what they say, and they are, very well proven to bring, the most customer satisfaction and the most quality work specific to that type of industry.
Very cool. So one thing, I know we're about 2/3 of the way done here, and this interview has been really great. But hey, if anybody's watching and you have questions for Stacy, or just maybe about just reducing waste or helping the earth in the greenest way possible, go ahead, throw a question up, or if you're enjoying this, throw a comment in here. We'll be sure to try to get that up on screen as well while we go. So we've hinted at this. We've kind of talked a little bit about it. But more specifically, what are some common types of issues that you really help when you go in or talk to a business?
Honestly, what we found through our market research and working with clients is they don't know where to start, and it's intimidating. And on top of all the other things that they have to do, it's just they need a little hand holding and a little bit of a launch pad, if you will. They need to know where to start. And then B, we find also after that it's usually a very kind of passion project, front burner issue, but because of the day-to-day overwhelm, it gets pushed back to the back burner. And the intention is there, but I got to do payroll instead. And then C is that one thing that we've noticed is that corporate CEOs will send down a zero waste mandate. And these middle managers are not quite ready for what does that even mean? What is zero waste, right? And where do I go to put these programs into place? That's where we come in. And, we give them that, that runway in order to help design a plan that will meet the needs of the entire facility. And that can be replicated at different locations as well.
Cool. So, and I think that's probably, there is a huge opportunity in there. I think a lot of people don't even know what zero waste is or where to start. So that's awesome that those are the issues you can help with. So, do you have any programs or anything that you would want anybody watching this to learn about?
Yeah, like I mentioned before, we have a 3-tiered program. Tier 1 is a 6-week online training program that is perfect for facilities maintenance, restaurant owners, retail managers, or anyone that deals with waste and hauling contracts as well. For your business or for your property. And that leads you into kind of a zero waste 101. What are the foundational key protocols that I need to know? What are the best business practices? What are the cool examples that will motivate me to put these kind of practices into place? And then after that, we do weekly phone calls. We'll be able to do resource educational materials, checklists, all the things that you need in order to feel supported. And then if you want to deep dive into your industry's actual waste stream and what to do with it in your local area, we have tier 2, which is a deep dive. And we kind of dive your dumpster, if you will, on an individual basis online. We can make those assessments, and we can look at what you have in there, how to track your waste, how to even renegotiate your hauler contract, so that you are getting a right-sized program for your specific business needs. And then tier 3 is an all-encompassing, holistic, done-for-you program. Like I said, fly my team out, and we will knock it out for you, top to bottom, side to side, diagonally. We'll train your staff. We'll jump in your dumpster. We'll figure out what's going on, what could have been recycled, what was mismanaged, and we'll do it all with a smile on our face. And we'll draft a 30-page report for you that gives you your specific design for your facility there. And again, we make talking trash really fun. So we gamify everything with your staff, and we're able to boost that morale and help them take ownership and accountability around what they're doing at the bin on an individual basis, so that they are properly putting things in the right bin. You're not getting the cross-contamination where you will be charged a fee by your hauler if that contamination is happening and it's consistent. And then, that really helps the information stick as well. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. We love flying out to be on site.
I cannot say that I have ever heard we will jump in your dumpster and it will be fun all in the same sentence before. So there's a first, and that's when somebody's truly passionate about what they do, right? I mean, that's the perfect metaphor as well. So I love that. Let's see.
It's trash to treasure. I tell you what, we find cash in your trash. People throw away things for the most crazy reasons, and because they haven't been taught, and it's not their fault. They just haven't been taught that, oh, this actually could have been reused for this, and this. Oh, really? Well, let's change that. So it's really instead of buying it new, you got a missing caster from your office chair. Let's replace it. Let's repair it. Repair is one of the re's before recycling, right? So there's a lot to say about saving money, finding that cash in your trash, and turning those materials into treasure for your business. And that's where we come up with that optimization and maximizing your program, so that you're not spending money carting air in your dumpster, because the hauler loves it either way, right? If you're not full every single time, you're paying to cart air. So let's figure out what the levels should be, and what the pickup rate should be, and the capacity, and train your staff to do it right. And it's a all hands on deck kind of approach there.
I love it. And while you were saying that, a friend of mine, Cherish, she's a big networker down in the Columbia, South Carolina, or
Hi,
Greenville,
Cherish.
South Carolina area. Yep. She said this is so needed. So it's awesome. Yeah, there's definitely a reason you've made it almost 10 years in business.
Yeah.
So Cherish, thanks for chiming in there.
And we're true certified. So we're certified through the Green Business Certification Inc., which runs the True Zero Waste program. This is the same organization that runs LEED for green building standards, sites for landscaping. There's all kinds of certification programs through GBCI. True is the zero waste program that we're certified under.
Love it. And just a quick correction. Cherish is in Greenville, South Carolina, not Columbia.
Okay.
But anyway, so we're gonna wrap this up, and this has been wonderful. It's been one of our longer episodes, which is awesome. Always love it when
I told you I can talk about this for hours, Jay.
I'll tell you what, I have learned. So every time I do an episode, I feel like I'm getting just an extra education. So I keep learning more and more things. And this
Free
one was no
education is the
different.
best education.
It really is. All right. So if somebody is interested in just even talking to you to figure out if this is something they need or can use or just need your help with, I know we have the ticker at the bottom. They can visit your website, but how should people really get in touch with you if they want to talk to you?
The website is the best way. We have a contact page, but we also have a courses page, a landing page where you can kind of see what our 6-week program actually entails and all the value that you'll get with that and the pricing and such. So they'll be able to go to our website, and under the courses tab there, it's our get started landing page, so that you can understand who we've worked with, what we can do for your business, and how to get enrolled.
Love it. So just if you're watching, I know it's is down there, but it's zero, like the number zero, zerowaste.org. So zerowaste.org. Stacy, thank you so much for jumping on with me.
Thank
I had
you.
a ton of fun. I learned a lot. So,
and
so thanks again.
My final question for your audience is, if we're not for zero waste, exactly how much waste are we for?
All right. Awesome. I love it. Stacy, thank you so much.
All right, Jay. Thanks so much. Take care.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right. That was awesome. So listen, Stacy just brought us a ton of information and knowledge. And what a great guest. Just somebody who is so easy to talk to. And this is what I love about doing Meet the Experts is I learn a lot. I hope the people that follow us learn a lot. And then, of course, now Stacy can take this interview and go use it as content in her business. So I hope her potential customers will learn a lot as well from the interview. So if your business or you would like to be a future guest on Meet the Experts, you can visit guests.advertisinggreensboro.com. Like I said, we don't just do Greensboro businesses, as evidenced by our past guests. So we also have guests.howto.agency. But for purposes of this ticker, guests.advertisinggreensboro.com, or just comment on this post, on this live stream, and say, hey, I'd like to be a guest, and I will reach out to you and we will get you all the instructions you need, provide you with that link again, and get you up on Meet the Experts really soon. Our next episode, I believe this is the last one for August. I believe our next one is September 1st, and then I think we have another one September 6th. So I can't wait to see you on our next Meet the Experts. And until then, have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.